This will be a quick reminder of your Father. A quick reminder of who your Father is. If this is not your world, then the world will not give to you. Let that soak in, so it can be a reminder when you feel left out, when you feel like you've not been given any mercy. When you feel like all is hopeless in the world because the world doesn't give to you. You have to remember that if you were of this world, then it would give to you. It would understand you. It would accept you. It would reward you. Close the book. Let's say there was no book. Okay. Speak the truth. Speak your truth. There was no religion, no people, opinions. Speak, Spirit. What have you witnessed? What has been done to you? Close the book. You would say, the world does not treat me fairly, okay? The world does not treat me equally, okay? The world doesn't treat me as it treats others. Sounds like an evil stepmother. It doesn't give me any mercy, though it gives mercy. Doesn't give me understanding, though it gives understanding. It doesn't give me rewards, though it rewards. Okay, continue. I look like them, I talk like them. I'm just one of them. What makes me different? What's setting me apart? Why are they excluding me? Why don't they accept me? These are the things that you would question when you don't know anything. All you know is what you've seen, what you've bear witnessed. You know no book. You know any books. You know no religion. You know no church. You know no people with opinions. All you know is your testimony. All you know is what you know. Nothing outside of you. You see, the answers are in you. You already know. Now, if there's a book that comes along, and there's a church, a people with this understanding, then that's a bonus, that's a revelation, and that's a confirmation and a reassurance. But we never needed any of these things because we should be fulfilling prophecy with our existence, our being. Those prophecies should be speaking about you. That's the definition of a prophecy. It's going to come true no matter what. And if the prophecy has to do with this world and the people in it, would you not find yourself in it? But in order for the prophecy to be a prophecy, it has to be done. You have to do and be. Just as I'm doing and I'm being, it is being written. I have a book. My book will be open with all the works and deeds, all the sins, all of the things of my existence. In my other worlds, if I choose to open that book and read it, but I have to do and be in order for it to be in existence. I have to live. I have to be born for my book to exist. So when someone says this is the prophecy book of Alizé, well, Alizé has to exist. Sorry, hate to put people in the screen. So that's what a prophecy is. That is what a prophecy is. And if there's a prophecy over your life, the will, well, then the will has to be fulfilled. And understand, you're a witness. You don't have eyes just not to see. That's mocking the ones that actually can't see out of their eyes. But here's the thing. It's not sight to see all. It is to know all to see. So you don't need eyes to see. You have to know what's out here to see the truth. Because people parade, people masquerade. People do it for whatever reason they do it for protection, whatever. But they do it. So you can never trust what you see. Never. You could think this person looks so innocent, so fresh from the surface. You could think I'm younger than what I am. But the truth is I'm 30, right? I'm not 18, I'm not 21, I'm 30. And I will be 31 in a week or so. Again. So many ways to interpret. So many ways to interpret. Another interpretation is to see how they're advancing in potions for whatever reason. No one's saying it's negative, no one's saying it's positive. We're just saying what exists. And what exists is they're getting advanced when it comes to these potions. Maybe to allow people to look younger, to look much fresher, more cleaner, but the dirt is still there. I can wash up and I can still smell. I can still smell. I can cleanse my skin, but I can still smell. Meaning, it still doesn't take away the root. It just washes the surface. It just, that's it. Never trust the surface. If the root is what the root is, that's where you should be focusing on. If the root is that it still smells, you're still dirty. Right? Or you still have odor. It doesn't matter about the surface. It matters about the root of the problem. Never trust the surface. We know this. We've been witnesses. We know this. When they're coming out with medication, yeah, this is a big one. To mask, to prolong. It's not about whether it's positive or negative. It's just that it exists. We're acknowledging it. That's why you can never trust the surface. People have diseases. People have infections, all sort of things. But now with this advanced medication, you cannot see it on them. You cannot see the sickness, the disease. Before, the disease would eat you out. From the inside out. You start decaying, deteriorating. You would actually see someone and know they're sick. There'd be signs, physical signs, let alone physical symptoms to show you. But now you can't trust anything. We all look the same. We all have blended in. So how are you able to know? How are you able to see? Well, it's not from the surface. They're advancing these things. They're advancing. Every generation. I was born in the 90s. So I was able to know what life was before this, all of this. I was a kid. I had kid things, toys, wood craftsman stuff, kites and yo-yos, hula hoops, pogo sticks, roller skates, all the things. Barbie dolls, doll houses, hockey table, a furry cat that purred, like all of it. Winters where you went outside and you actually had snow. I'm from Connecticut. We had snow before Christmas, before actual December. Like, we had snow. It wasn't delayed. So now we're here. Whether you think it's good, whether you think it's bad, I don't care. We're speaking on that it exists. It's valid, right? We're acknowledging it. That you can't trust the surface. If you couldn't then, you definitely shouldn't even, you shouldn't wing it. I know our eyes will always deceive us because our eyes only doing what the eyes can do, and it only can see what it can see. Right? So you give compliments to her and him. Oh, you look so nice, you look so fresh, you look so clean. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. But the truth is where the knowing lies. I think this person looks clean. This person looks nice and fresh, young. But the truth is always going to be the truth. It may be a rude awakening for some. Maybe the truth may hurt. You find out this person is actually older or younger. You find this person is like deranged. You find that they've been ran through, wasted up. They're not as fresh. You get it? They come with baggage, trauma, burden. You start to realize who they are, their essence, their spirit, and then you start to realize this is not for you. Now, if you don't focus on the truth, right? When you're young and you just focus on the views, how you're viewed, who you're seen with, when you're very immature, maybe for some, not for all, but you don't really, not that you can't decipher between the spirit, but you're not focused on it. That's not what kids typically focus on. Or I shouldn't say kids, but teenagers. Some teenagers. Because as a kid, you're focused on just having fun. It doesn't matter if you're black, blue, green. Then as a teenager, in school at least, it's all about the popular kids. It's all about the groups and your status. It starts there. Before you get out into the real world, the real world of classification and true division. But anyway, you just can't trust the surface. You never could. If it was written, it was written. You see, if it was written, it was written. And shout out to the books that talk about such things. But see, the book is closed because we don't need a book. When we are prophesying, when we are the ones doing the work, when we are the ones showcasing it, when we're the ones like acting it. They talk about a bully. Well, there's a bully that's the bully. The bully doesn't need a book about the bully to tell them that a bully exists. No, they know they exist. Let the bully speak. There would always be bullies. Yeah, I'm sure. We live it. We live in it, right? We live among them. Even in our schools, in our homes, we could be a bully to someone. It doesn't take a book to have to believe in such things. That's why people get caught up in worrying about what book this is and who written it and how it's hypocritical. It never even took a book to believe in such things. Just open your eyes to see. For all they could burn up all the books, just as they probably kept so many things from the Bible. Right? They could have taken parts and pieces from it. Shoot, they could have burned it. In most places, they prohibit it. So you don't need a book to believe in what is true. And thank God there are books that talk about the truth. We praise those books. But why be so caught up in base your belief on a book. Base if you're gonna truly believe in a God based off a book. How pathetic is that? That's what it seems to me. That you're just not a solid, trustworthy person if you're putting your validation in books. It's the same as when you put validation in others. If the majority is not believing in such book, well, I'm not then. That's what I see it all as. Because it doesn't take anything, any material thing to show me when I have eyes to see. I have ears to hear. Now, if I read a book and I see that there's truth to it, then I give credit to it. But I never needed the book. Because we are here on the council. We are here facing God. We're here reflecting on our testimony of what we have bear witness, our soul, our eyes, our ears. Again, our eyes, not our book. Our ears, not our book. Shoot, you find out in the book it talks about you. Okay, well, you had to be you. What that had to do with a book? Come on now. So anyways, that's me having to step down, speak so typical, when logically, I mean, it's basic sense, basic knowledge. That's why I'm not biblically scholared. I don't have to necessarily read the book in and out every day to be able to speak truth, to be able to know truth, to be able to tell my story. I have my own story, but shout outs to Jesus, right? Shout outs to Paul and John. Shout outs to them because they have their own story, but I have my own. How brilliant is that? I have my own. I have to still live my life as my book is being written. And they're no longer here. So we have their records. Thank God. Thank God. That's it. Thank God for their records of what they've encountered, what they've learned, what they're trying to remind us, just in case we might want to read their record of their existence, living among serpents in a world like this, being who they are. And just to find out you are one of them, woo, you have record of it. You won't be so much alone. You can actually read on your ancestors in the spirit. Because they don't come face to face. They may come with ink and paper. So, I mean, come on now. You see, here's the thing. When you're not who you are, when you're not the truth, when you're not walking in it, you just don't like it. You don't like any record of anything reminding you of the true reflection of what you are. That's it. You don't like it. You don't want to reflect. That means you don't want to read on it. You don't want to see it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear your dirty deeds. That is why they're so hooked on this book, why this book, hypocrite, they see themselves in it and they don't like it. And they feel that they should live their life accordingly to how they live their life. And you have a right to be. But when you start to degrade a certain book because you see your iniquities in it, and then you try to bash it for other people to, with your slick tongue, and say how it's hypocritical, it's this, it's that. No, you can feel how you want to feel. You can live how you want to live. Iniquity and all. And if you don't find it to be iniquity that you're working in, then that's fine too. But carry on. Carry on. Those are the only ones that make so big talk about the book. A Bible book. Those are the only ones that talk big talk about it. And they'll be the main ones that be biblically scholared. Those are the main ones that know this book, verses and all. Main ones that be preacher kids and raised in the church. Main ones. You see, I wasn't raised in the church and I was no preacher kid. Nor do I know the verses in and out. But since I am a true child of God, you can see that I don't need no book, but just to see that I'm in this book and it speaks of this. They wouldn't like it neither. Because they can see how their preacher kid, they this and that, and they still don't know knowledge or wisdom. They still can't interpret these things, though they read it day in and day out. Of course, that's another reason why they don't like it. Those are the only ones that make big talk about the Bible. Big talk about Christianity or whatever. The only reason why I don't consider myself Christian now is because just the title. Yes, I will be considered a Christian if Jesus Christ they've made Jesus Christ a religion. But I want people to see he is bigger than that. That I don't speak from arrogance or I don't speak from that place. I speak because I know who I am. Don't put me in a box. Don't have expectations for me because I'm not traditional and I'm not conventional. So yes, if you try to put yourself in a box, of course you'll never be able to be perfect. So that's opening up a whole new thing of problems for you. Of course, no one can be perfect if you put yourself in a box and you say you're Christian and you can't follow Christian values. There's no reason why these people are now turning away from Christianity or they have a problem with it and they're turning left. Well, because you put yourself in a box. You put yourself in a cult. Just be who you are. You're not never going to be perfect, but you know inside wrong from right. Like, my goodness. I mean, I understand, if you growing up a certain way, it's your childhood, it's what you've known. But at some point, when you're seeking God for clarity and healing, he will come. He will do his thing. And when he does, that is your chance to be free. Being free and what holds you back from whatever's holding you. Because remember, trauma is trauma. And healing is healing. And there is time. There is time. But at the same time, we're an adult now. We can leave if we want to leave. We can go. We can stop if we want to stop. We don't have to go to these places with these people. We don't have to. Yeah, you may feel guilty. Yeah, you may feel sad. You're going to feel it. Because those things are going to try to hold on to you spiritually, make you feel some way about it. But once you detach from it and you move away from it, right? The magnet, when you move away, there's less pull. There's less pull. That's why, you hear you have to try. You just have to try. As long as you try, you'll see. You'll see something rather than just not. So, again, your father. And we have the book closed, so we don't need it because our eyes have witnessed. And if I was facing my father and he told me to speak soul, like speak my soul, there'd be no book in front of me to remind me, to tell me what happened or what should happen or what could happen. I lived this life. And then once I'm done, then he will say, it is done. Then he will say, the prophecy is fulfilled, the will is done. Because I have gone through it. I have walked. I have done it. And now I testify. Do you see? And now I can see my book and I can read it. But I'm reading all the things that I have done. But I had to do it. So I say that because, again, we don't need a book. That book is there for confirmation. It is there just in case. But we know we don't need someone to hold our hand. So your Father is who rewards you. It's who treats you like a child with understanding and guidance, who wants the best for you, good intentions, leads you in a straight path. And if that's not the person that you follow, if he's leading you in a straight path, then that is your Father. If he rewards you, then that is your Father. He likes you. He adores you. He admires you. If they feel that way about you, then that is your Father. When you eat from their hand and you take from them and they give to you, that's your Father. Let there be verses about it. Confirmation. But we've lived in this world to see how you're treated when you're not someone's child. Your dreams will come true. But by who? Your Father. So we're in this world and we want our dreams to come true. Mm-hmm. Well, first off, dreams are not in this world. When I go to sleep, they're not in this world. They're in me. They're in my soul. They're in my mind. They're in my consciousness. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. How can this world give me dreams or make my dreams come true when they're in me? Yeah, only you can make your dreams come true. There that is. That's for one. Secondly, who's making dreams come true if it ain't me? Am I expecting someone, let alone a man, like meaning mankind? Would I expect some other human to make my dreams come true when they have dreams too? I'm sure they have dreams too. Again, it goes back to you. You have to make your dreams come true. That's 2, right? 3. Now let's open the book with this one, because I know there's a verse somewhere. Something along the lines of, as I was saying in the beginning, Father says, or at least my Father says, the world will give to its own. But imagine what more I'll give to mine, right? The world gives to its workers of iniquity. Imagine what I will give to the workers of me, the workers of good and justice and equality. Using my own words. What more? If they can give to their own and their owns are wicked, right? They didn't work for it. You can finish that. And we find that they get praise all day. They get publicized acknowledgement. They get grace. They get mercy. They get all of it. They get money. They get riches. They're getting rich. Yes, yes, I speak on everyone's frustration about it. It's true. The world gives to its own, and to find who's the ruler of this world, to find that your father is the ruler of this world. Woo! I know you're just chilling, silver spooning. Oh, I know. Sounds familiar when you're on the other side of the stick and you find that you didn't know any book, but you knew you were on the other side of the stick. You knew you were being treated like a stepchild. You knew that you weren't given the same opportunities and same mercy, same chances. And then a book comes along and he says, remember me? Yeah, not the ruler of the world, not the ruler of this world, but the creator of the world. Yeah, I'm your father, daughter. I'm your father, Alize. Remember? And then everything starts to align, because then you realize that you were here for a reason. Child, you were here for a purpose. Child, you were here temporarily. You are of me, right? And I sent you into the world. In a world that was already existing, right? A world that people were in. A world where there's a ruler. And that ruler will give to its own, but it will not give to you. Do you remember? Does it make sense now? Now you understand why you're treated the way you are. Why you feel the way you feel. And why you know what you know. You're not crazy. But let me confirm it for you. Let me make you not feel with this book, with these verses, with the truth written in ink and paper, since I can't come face to face with you, since I'm not right there with you. I also want you to hear about your brother Jesus, your Lord, your King, your shepherd, because he did it first and he was perfect. I want you to hear about him as well, so that you can remember that you are not alone and that there is someone that made it through all the things that you will have to go through. He went through it first. So read about him as well. You see, those books, ink and paper, they came to us with ink and paper. Praise the Lord. The last thing you'll hear from me is bashing it, saying it's hypocritical. No, praise them, because it helps me to confirm what I already know. It helps me to reflect on my family when I am left alone in this world, when I feel so, when I am the minority, when I am on the other side of the stick, when I'm being treated like a stepchild, because I am. When you don't belong and you're set apart, and there are people in this book, this so-called hypocritical book, that are walking the same path as me, or yet better, and I aspire to be. That's inspiring. Again, it is a book to just confirm. It's a prophecy. So you workers of iniquity, of course you wouldn't like a book such as this. Of course not, because you want to run your life and control it. You want to do whatever you want to do, whether it's moralist, regardless. You have went past the point of not being perfect. No, you want to live moralist. You want to live without morals. Just say it. And you're probably jealous of Jesus, you Antichrist. You're probably just jealous of him, because leave my Jesus alone. He didn't do anything to no one. Why bash such a person? Such a spirit, a full-spirited person that only came to do good. I mean, my goodness. You can just see the serpent in them, the spirit. Because what did he ever do to you? Leave him alone. But God said, you can not believe in my son. You cannot believe in my son. That's fine. You can blaspheme him, okay? Because you did. You do it. But you will not blaspheme the Holy Spirit. You will not. You see, the Holy Spirit is a witness to him. The Holy Spirit is the truth of him. And you cannot blaspheme the truth and the witness of someone because it is done. All the things that you have, all the things that you blasphemed him for, all the things that you said that wasn't true about him, now you're coming up against the truth, the witness of him. I was there. That's what it's saying. I was there. So to try to blaspheme a witness, you're way past a fool. If he didn't have a witness, okay. Then who would know? Who truly knows? But since there is a witness, we know the truth. So you can blaspheme him until the truth comes. Then you'll see. Then we'll know who's wrong. Then we'll know what needs to be done, right? Then we'll know. Then it is done. That is why it's so powerful. That is why it's so powerful to have a witness, another helper, another comforter, another advocate of you. Right? It's a partner. It's ultimately a partner, someone for you, someone that's always going to be there for you, protect you, be a witness of you. So no matter what happens, regardless of what they say or do to you, that person knows the truth. And so when you go up against God and you're saying all these things, because you're not an advocate, you're not an advocate of us, you're saying all these things against us, what we did to the creator of the world. But then you say, well, hold on, I have a witness. It is done. What can you say then? You see, you didn't think that no one's seen these things. You didn't think no one knew. Because you can't see. But you should have believed, you should have known to see that there is always someone watching, always someone hearing, all ears and all eyes. And we're not talking about biblical creatures with all these eyes, but hey, there's another depiction of it. There's all eyes everywhere, just as those creatures have wings to go to and fro, reporting, telling on you. Yeah, telling. Yeah, of course. Witnesses everywhere. There's always someone. Whether it's physically, they always say physically too. There's always someone watching if you don't think they are. Maybe someone in the window. Or right when you turn your head, there's someone that maybe just happened to appear. But we're speaking spiritually, you know? See, I didn't use like biblical verses. I don't use biblical verses, but I could. And I do context it when I can remember it, and I still use my own words. It's no boast to me. I'm just saying that you have to know the difference between someone true and someone just thinking they're scholar. And I'm sure getting the knowledge is just getting the knowledge, but it isn't the same. Because ultimately it's who you're following, it's who you're listening to. And if you could choose, you would choose not the imposter or the substitute. But shout out to them if they're doing their duty, right? They're a placeholder, whatever, right? That was their purpose. It wasn't for you to think that they was. It wasn't for them to say that they was a teacher when they were just a substitute. So it's all those things. But what I'm saying is, there are people from God that's their father. Okay? And there's actually people from the devil, whatever you want to call him. He has a name. He has many names. Just like Jesus has many names, right? But that doesn't matter, right? No one, it shouldn't matter. We just know that there is a person and he is one. He is but one. And you can either follow him or you don't have to follow him. That's your father or it's not your father. Again, back to the Trinity. If you're a worker of your father, yeah, you're working in him. You're doing his works. You're doing his will. So in the world, we see you all as one because you're all working for the same purpose. But spiritually, as a being, you and your father is separate. Like, again, the unit. Father, son, daughter, mother. I am not my mother. My mother is not my father. And my brother is not me. Like, I'm not a boy and he's not a girl. So you can't move away from the message. Like, we're all individually created. But if we all plan to create this mission, then we all will work together to fulfill this mission. And when we start to work together, then we become one. Because we all have to have one, the unity, the mind, one mind in this. Do we all agree? Right? Put your hands in. Do we all agree? Okay. You don't? Okay, so then we have to see and come to this resolution to be one again with our understanding. So we are one because of what we believe, what we're gonna do for the people, for the innocents, for our babies. We're one. So when the baby sees me, they see God. They see my brother. They see my sister. They see the good. Because we're working for the greater good. But I am my own person. I am a woman. I am a daughter. I am my father's daughter. I am not my father. And that is why it's important to get to know me and don't expect, don't have expectations. Because you're not supposed to be like someone else. I'm not supposed to be like my brother Jesus, let alone he's a man. It doesn't make sense. So it should never be an insult when someone says, oh, you can't look to this person, or yeah, exactly. I'm who I am. Get to know me. That's another problem in the world when people expect you to be something. Just that message alone. I'm not going to be him. I'm not going to be her. It doesn't matter if I was born in this family. It doesn't matter if I'm from God. It doesn't matter if Jesus is my brother. It doesn't matter who you think I am or what title I'm given. I will still always be who I am. But he can give me a crown. I can be seated somewhere. I can live in this certain type of place. I can come from this world. But it shouldn't, keyword, it shouldn't change who I am. And that's my point. I'm already who I am before I come into this place. I'm already who I am before I come into this family. This is the family he put me in. This is the world that he put me in. I am still who I am, right? And you hear God say this. He says, I am the I am. No matter where I am, no matter what you do to me, no matter what you say, no matter what you feel, I can't change who I am. That is why it's so weird when you give someone money or you put them in a certain place and they start acting different. But it ain't truly them changing. It's the persona. It's them putting on this mask. So my point is still true that you can never change no matter where you go. Not the essence of you. Of course, there's growth, there's spiritual maturity and all those things, but we're talking about me. Like, I'm still who I am. I can mature and I can hear the maturity. I can hear the wisdom. I can hear this. I can see the strength. I can see, right? Just like you can see muscle building physically, you can see the growth. But what makes me is the essence. I'm a very funny, jolly person. I like to laugh. I like to listen. I like to just be me. So that's never going to change. But my appearance can, my voice, right? Everything's growing. Everything's maturing, right? I have a more mature voice. But I mean, I still feel I sound the same. But my voice is mature than it was when I was a kid. My body is a bit mature because I become a woman. Yeah, those things change. But what stays the same? My essence, my soul. And that goes into other topics like resurrection, reincarnation. Because it doesn't matter where you go. I just said it. It doesn't matter what you do, where you put me in. Boom. It doesn't matter where he puts me. He knows exactly where he put me. And I know that's a verse. He says, I know what family I put you in. I know. It doesn't matter if you look beat up, wasted, crazy. Look, it don't, you're wounded. I'm sure you're scarred up living in the world. I'm sure you don't. If they were to judge you on the surface, I'm sure they wouldn't find you. Yeah, that part. They probably hid you in that way, put you in the most places they would have never thought to look for you. And who did it? Your father. You say, who did this to me? You know? Because again, you'll forget if you start asking those questions like, why am I in this position? Why is this happening? Why do I look this way? Well, because I tried to hide you in plain sight. I tried to hide you. Like, it ain't time. Remember, this is a will, and you're made least. You're made least. It's really, at the end of the day, I don't know why I said at the end of the day, but really it's, if you really want to know, royalty, the royals of royals, the kingdom has come. And I'm not done. The kingdom has come down into earth. Close the book. I'm just thinking of me. The kingdom has come down. I can make this into another live, but it is what it is. The kingdom has come down into earth. And you see this kingdom is desolate. The king is nowhere to be found. The prince has been crucified, prisoned. The princess has been hidden. And the mother is as well gone as well. Okay? I'm saying this to depict it, to see the message, because I'm using this depiction. But the message is, what was such a kingdom, such a person, such a people, such a king, such a queen, such a princess, such a person has become no more, has become low, has become least, has been made humble, has been made desolate, all those things. And the people has turned away. This way that has been praised and filled with wisdom and knowledge, people see as forbidden. No one can come into this place. No one can find or see. It has been hidden in plain sight. Its people, its place, its things. So picture how Jesus would feel, or any of us that belong to that kingdom. Long suffering, let alone getting a sickness or any extra burden. It's already been a burden just to be here and to be reminded, let alone to remember. See, that's why we don't remember anything, because it helps, to be honest. Does it not? You ask the Wicked Witch to see if she'd want to remember all the wicked things she's done. She'd have a heart attack. Okay? She'd have a heart attack and so many other things. So it does help to not remember. Helps trauma, help ease pain. He says, once you give birth, and then it goes away. I don't need a book to tell me. I just know. Don't ask me why I know, because I am who I am. That's it. Ask my Father. You see, I'm not going to sit here and play that game and say, oh, because I'm a God, I am who I am. I'm my Father's daughter, and I didn't lie. You see, I feel like people can't say that because they're not. Instead, they'll say, well, I'm a God. I'm Satan. They'll say some crazy off the wall stuff. Like they'll literally imposture. I was about to make up a word. They were literally gonna play imposter just because. Meaning they were gonna try to take someone else's shoes. Why can't you just say you are who you are? But I guess because you're not. You're not trying to be who you are. You can't. You don't know who you are. But see, I know who I am. And I just happen to be who I am. So the truth speaks through me. It isn't hard. And if I read on certain things that align with my philosophy, my understanding, then I say, wow, Father, I knew. Praise you. He's giving me the knowledge. He's giving me, whatever it is. But it's a revelation to me, because it's just like you feel, but right? Like you don't want to be boastful. You don't think that you know everything, but you seem to be true. It seems to be true. Right? The things that you believe, or the things that you say, the things you've gone through happen to just align with the truth, or align with what should be happening. And it's like, okay, great. It's a reassurance to me. It makes me praise him more. It makes me say things like he's coming. I spoke about this in my last live, because I know that he's always been coming, but I can only say what the truth is. And like, if these things are happening, then you're going to hear me shout on the mountain and say, oh my God, he's giving me knowledge, wisdom. He's taking the fear away from me. I just know these things. Who am I? You see, who am I? Because I have no memory. I have no memory. I cannot sit here and say I know what my Father's face looked like, or what his what his voice sounds like. I have no recollection of that. But should I really? Should I, if the focus is on being born to a human mother in a natural body? I mean, my goodness. If the purpose was for me to live just as the humans and there be no partiality, if the purpose was for me to be treated such a way and for it to humble me and for me to strive and make decisions based off the strength that's in me, with no mercy or no partiality and no grace, well, you can see why he'd be delighted in me. Because I had nothing. I didn't know anything but all that I am. Still today. Has God presented himself to me in a physical form? No, he hasn't. But the more that I have been mature, the more that I've spiritually matured, the more that I've gone through the darkness, the more darkness I've been through, the more time that I had to reflect like this, the more time I had to speak and hear the truth, whatever's coming from in me. Because it's one thing to see what I'm going through, but it's another thing to reflect on it. And then for it to make sense, and then for it to align with certain verses. I mean, all I can say is I knew. And redemption, and he's coming for me. He's never left me. It's all those things that you have no choice but to praise. Even though I sit here still sacrificing, still burdened, still heavy, still in this sin. What brings joy to me? What makes me rich? What keeps me going? The truth. And if I forget it, I'm lost. When I forget it, that's when my feet touches the ground and my eyes stay out from the clouds. But I haven't forgotten, and I don't want to forget, right? I don't want to close my eyes, though it is a sight to see, though it turns my stomach sour every time. The cup that I'm drinking, I don't want to close my eyes, because once I do, I lose who I am. And I'm sure the world will say to me, but by you keeping your eyes closed is not making you rich. It's not making you be surrounded by joy and love. It's not getting you nowhere. You're not growing. That's what the world would say. Understandably, because only the world can see what they can see. They're only doing what they know to do, and that's to be who they are. We have to give understanding to them, but it is them that don't give understanding to us, because they cannot see us, even though we see all things. You see, we are the ones that give mercy to them, but it is them that don't give no mercy to us. It is always we that have to carry this burden. It is we that have to be at this higher standard, always. Even though it is we that is crucified, imprisoned, and mistreated, and given no mercy, it is we that have to be strong, because people expect it from us. Because people expect it. It is always long suffering, sacrificing. That's why I speak so much about certain topics on how I do it, because it had nothing to do with a gender, right? When the world and their worldly ways, right? When regular humans speak about gender roles and femininity, I tread lightly, but I say my understanding about it, because it's easy to me. When they're bickering over these things, I understand why they're doing it. But I also have to speak about it, because since I'm in the world and I am a woman, I'm ridiculed. And since they choose not to understand the truth, since they choose not to understand the truth or accept the truth, they make it into like a classified thing. Like, oh, you're only supposed to act this way if you are this. Or you're only supposed to do this if you're that. Whereas in the world where I'm from, you see, because it's just in me, I know I just have a different philosophy. That's why their tactics never work on me. I will never be submissive, even though you try to make me or expect me to. Because here's the thing, in the world where I'm from, it's earned. I understand you're a man. I understand the power you have. I understand respectfully that you should be respected in a certain way from a woman. But just as a man should be respecting a woman in a certain way. It's that simple. But in this world, they expect it. Even though the truth is that it's earned, they don't accept the truth. That's the problem. They don't acknowledge that truth, you see, because they only want it their way. If they claim this world to be a man's world, that's the world they claimed it to be. That's the laws and regulations. And they've tried, you see, they've tried to take women's rights away. But anyways, my point is the message. I would never fall for such hypocrisy, those sort of philosophies, because I am not from this world. And even being in this world, not having no recollection of my past life, it's in me. It never was going to work. Satan's tactics were never going to work on me. You just wake up again. So that is why it's so easy to tell young women or just women that be who you are. I get it. You want a husband, you want this, you want that. But I mean, why sacrifice your sanity? Why sacrifice your soul? You're going to hate yourself. He's going to hate you too. Your kid's going to hate you too. Because no one admires if you're not an individual. You see, you'll never win. You'll never end up with happiness. Maybe temporarily, meaning if you give all this man all he wants, if you try to play this role, and then a woman comes in his life that is true to herself, he might not choose that woman. He might stay with you, but he respects that woman. He respects her individuality. He admires her. And that is why most women will be threatened by such a woman. That is why most women want to fit that shoe. That is why most women at the end, when the prince comes, they all say, it's me, it's me, it's me. That's why that woman doesn't fight or is envious that someone's claiming her position. Because there's security in who she is, her individuality. It has always been, even on to the end. Before the prince came for her, before they had to fit the shoe, and after. Individuality will save you, will give you happiness, will lead to truth and realism, and people, places, and things. It is better to be real than to be in a place with people that only like the persona side of you, only like the mask. I mean, my goodness, this is ABCs to the spirit. My goodness. But this is the knowledge needed for this world, because this is not how the system is ran, and this is not how the system wants to run you. They want you to put a mask on. They program it. They even give you potions and things to act out a certain way. But once you sober up, you're back to you, are you not? Things get serious. So I don't want to hear nothing. There shouldn't be no one talking in this council but me. And I said it that way because, my goodness, my patience. Because it's basic sense. I understand the part where you want to fit in a world and you want things to be easy. Who wouldn't? Be here for a while, and we don't know how long, but people die here. You understand? People live their life out here. So the most you want in life is to make it simple and easy. But if that easy is sacrificing my soul, sacrificing my dignity, sacrificing my individuality, someone would say, oh, it's too expensive, right? But in my own words, it would just never happen. It just would never happen in my life. It would never, no. Have somebody else do it. You see? And that goes for people and places and things. You're not going to find those things with me. So move on, carry on. I'm not the one for you. You want someone that doesn't have her eyes in the clouds. Well, I have my eyes in clouds, so, but I'm sure there's many women out there, majority of them, that don't. So carry on. It just won't be. It will never be. So my father, your father, will make your dreams come true, because he'll give to you, because you're of him. And he says, where I am, your desires are. Where I am, your heart is. Amen. But we got to wait, because we're not in a world of our own. Understanding. So understand why you have to wait. Understand why. We're not in our world, honey. And what's ours is not in this world. This is ABCs to the spirit. But I get the gift of interpretation is what's necessary, because then you'll be able to see again. If you're not from this world, and he says that your rewards, your seat, your throne, your crown, your home, your heart, your desires is where I am. And this person that is the I am is in up above, way past heaven, but let's just say from your comprehension, in heaven, not in this realm, the next one, in the spiritual realm. Right? Like he chose not to be on earth among the people. He chose to maybe stay in the heavenly realms, right? Because he can choose to be anywhere, but he has, I believe, have said in a verse that I no longer show my face to them. But again, if this is a temporary world for you, and you come into this world as a fellow worker to fulfill such a will, that means that you leaving something. You've left something. What is that something? All the things. Your home, your crown, your throne. Shoot, your freedom. Your freaking freedom. Your family, your friends, your father, your shepherd, your leader. Because in the world that we're entering, there is their philosophy, their understanding, their ruler, their seats, their rewards. And we come into this world as slaves. We didn't come into their world to be higher than them. We didn't come into this world to take their seat. We came into the world to see what they do, to know what they do, to understand why they do what they do. So what he was going to do? Hide us in plain sight? What? Hide us in plain sight. Scatter us. Put us in these families. Black sheeps. And we were going to forget, just as anyone, on top of the things already they're giving us superficially. But I don't even think that's really making us forget. That's just depleting our energy, right? The poisons and things. But anyways, we were going to forget and lose energy. But that is just what it is. And so understand why your father is not giving you what you expect at the time you expect it. That's because it ain't time too. My goodness. And yes, we know he promised us, but in our own world, when we go home, and we know this because you go home to receive what is yours. That's where your belongings is. That's where you sleep, right? That's where you sit. It's like the same as that's where your crown is. That's where your seat, what your name is. It's not in this world. If you have a crown, why are you expecting it to be in this world, given to you by man or by this father of this world, this ruler? When this ruler is not your father, this ruler is not the one that rewards you. But you're still expecting these things. And it's like, not that you shouldn't, but who are you expecting it from? Remember. So of course, you're not going to get it today or tomorrow while you're over here fulfilling the will. No, you get it when it's done. Because understand that you're a worker of this will. You're not just here to get rewards. You're not here to just play Playhouse Disney. No, your reward will be given when it's time. And we already know that we're already made last. So yes, it will take time for us to get what we work so hard for. And so that is why the last will be made first. And I'll leave it there.